Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. Before we get going, I wanted to show you something. iTrustCapital for a long time has been one of my partners. Well, they've just opened these, they're just doing this recently, third-party administrator accounts. Stay competitive in a rapidly evolving financial landscape. If you look here, U.S. crypto ownership surged 40% in 2024. NASDAQ's 2024 retail investor survey, 57% of millennials, 59% of Gen Z prefer crypto over other ETF themes. 47% of traditional hedge funds now hold digital assets, up 29% from 2023, 62% year-over-year increase over 2024. As everybody knows, we're about to get legislation. And so what these guys, what iTrustCapital has done, and they're probably the largest crypto IRA company in the world now, they've created this so that firms out there that don't offer crypto but want to offer a crypto IRA to their clients can now partner with iTrustCapital. Unlock crypto capabilities. Our third-party administrator accounts are designed for financial institutions ready to offer crypto investing through self-directed IRAs without building the infrastructure themselves. You, of course, would get to put your branding on it. So anybody that's listening to my voice that runs one of these firms, whether it's some kind of IRA company that's not in crypto yet or a hedge fund or whatever, and you want to add the ability for your clients to invest in crypto, but you don't want to try to set up the infrastructure yourself, these guys have a proven track record. You can contact them about this, and I'm going to put the link to this and the email addresses in the top of the description of this video. There's two email addresses you can use, either tpa@itrustcapital.com. You can email them there, or you can click on the contact us and I'll have the link in the top of the description. Also, you could send an email to partnerships@itrustcapital.com, and these guys will begin conversations with you about how you can integrate this into your platform or what you're doing. Okay, moving along. Now, I'm going to talk about something very interesting in my private group today. It's daixrp.com, which is the Patreon, or click this join button right below any of my YouTube videos if you would rather join through YouTube. Many of you may or may not know, I used to be a financial advisor at Morgan Stanley. I am not a financial advisor now, but I used to be one. So I used to go in and talk to clients, and I know exactly how these financial advisors think. I know exactly what they present to these people and why, and I'm going to go over that in conjunction with what's about to happen to the crypto market, and I'm going to show you how that is going to translate into XRP price. That's one of 20 things that I think are going to be very positive for the XRP price, but I want to go over this one to kind of drive the point home. Before I get going, don't forget, if you want to open your Caleb and Brown account, the reason I did it, I went to Caleb and Brown, I get institutional custody, I get an actual person I can talk to when I'm ready to sell or create a strategy to sell. And thirdly, I get over-the-counter liquidity. People don't think about this, but over-the-counter liquidity, being able, it's fun to talk about, oh, what if XRP goes to $10? But what if your exchange locks up like they do in these bull runs? What if there's not enough liquidity for you to get out at the exit price you want? Well, at Caleb and Brown, that's not an issue. They have multiple over-the-counter liquidity providers around the world to help you liquidate when that's your time. So if you want to do that, if you want to open an account, go to my page, xrpwealth589.com will forward you right to this, and you click the sign up today button. The market, XRP 213, we've got, the market has gotten back on up to 3 trillion, and there's several things happening today. This is the first one. FOMC, Federal Reserve, will announce its decision on interest rates today. And Polymarket has it at 98% chance the Fed keeps rates unchanged. They said tomorrow, but this tweet was yesterday. This is all happening today. Oh, and by the way, there is a mega bombshell video that's dropping today. I'm going to show you about that in the group as well. The biggest thing that's going on right now is this. This is Senate Banking Committee. Head of the Senate's historic vote on legislation to establish the first ever regulatory framework for payment stablecoins. Key stakeholders are voicing support for the Genius Act. There's a lot of politics in play right now. Senate Republicans plan Thursday to vote on the Genius Act despite growing opposition. Senate Majority Leader John Thune filed cloture Tuesday to force the vote. There's a lot. Here's the chaos. There's a lot of drama, stablecoin drama, crypto drama on Capitol Hill.
Never in American history has a sitting president so blatantly violated the ethics laws.
I asked the ranking member. The gentleman was offered a moment to comment. The gentleman was offered a moment to comment on the objection. The gentleman is no longer recognized.
$2.9 billion.
The gentleman is no longer recognized. You will be recognized during this hearing.
Issuing a meme coin. Governance
the gentleman, Mr. Lynch, would be noticed if he was in a hearing.
Of which
he would have the
75% of
ability
the proceeds
to speak
go
under
to
the protections that are provided in the
every
House
detail of his
rules.
dealings contained
Ranking
a
Member
conflict
Lynch, you are
of
no
interest.
longer.
We love drama. Then we've got the usual suspects. You remember Maxine Waters, who blew the kiss to Sam Bankman-Fried and who also received money from Sam Bankman-Fried. She's trying to politicize it too.
Conflicts of interest presented by President Donald Trump and his family. I'm deeply concerned that Republicans aren't just ignoring Trump's corruption, they are legitimatizing Trump's and his family's efforts to enrich themselves on the backs.
Right, la. And of course, you know, like I said here, if they were only corrupt, it would be one thing. But they're extremely ignorant half-wits, making it even worse, compounding the problem.
Since we started out on Bitcoin, let's go further into...
I mean, imagine being a congressperson and you can't even do enough homework to get in front of Congress when you know that millions of people are going to hear what you say and you don't even get the freaking word right. This is how stupid these people are. And add stupid to corrupt, and that's what got our country into the situation it's in. Here's some of the guys correcting Maxine.
Thank you, Chairman Stile. I want to be really clear and set the record straight today. The ranking members expressed concern about conflicts of interest, which is why she's disrupting today's joint hearing. Through her actions today, the ranking member has thrown partisanship into what has historically been a strong, good, working bipartisan relationship. For those of you that may not know, we held a similar hearing, a similar joint hearing in this.
You don't have to listen to all of that. You get the point. There's a lot of political shenanigans going
Crypto's footing slips on the hill. Some reports read this morning. As a member of the most pro-crypto Congress ever, I wholeheartedly reject that premise. I want to remind everyone listening that crypto is not right or left. It's not Republican or Democrat. It's the future, and it's for everyone. In an increasingly digital world,
we won't spend too much time on the politics because more interesting things like this are out here. Ripple signing up. This is from Jake Claver. Ripple signing over 1,700 non-disclosure agreements probably isn't random. Most likely, these most likely cover talks with major players, governments, global banks, payment networks, big universities, and Fortune 500 firms, all laying the groundwork to use XRP. The pieces for mass adoption have been falling into place behind the scenes for quite a while. When I read this, it reminded me of, does everybody remember when the Federal Reserve was formed in Jekyll Island in a private room? And nobody heard about that meeting for years after. Here's the actual story. The meeting occurred in November 1910, where key figures of drafted plans for what would become the Federal Reserve was kept secret for years. It was publicly revealed in 1916 by journalist B.C. Forbes in an article published in Leslie's Weekly, which was later summarized in Current Opinion. Forbes described the clandestine gathering, but the revelation didn't gain much traction, and some dismissed it as mere yarn. The meeting's existence was further detailed in Forbes' 1917 book, Men Who Are Making America. However, the participants themselves denied the meeting occurred until 1930, when Aldrich's biography was published, prompted partly by the Senator Carter Glass's 1927 memoir, claiming credit for the Federal Reserve Act. And the point here is, and this is why they've been able to call us all conspiracy theorists, is because I've said it a million times. When you created the atom bomb, they had the Manhattan Project. So if you were going to completely change the financial system and try to preserve the US dollar as the or a world reserve currency, you would have something similar. I've always believed that Ripple and XRP was crypto's Manhattan Project. Then we've got this from Fred Rispoli. This is New Hampshire. According to this law that was passed, if XRP hits a $500 billion market cap this year, then it is also eligible for the New Hampshire Digital Asset Strategic Reserve in 2026. It's not just going to be Bitcoin, folks. Now, this is interesting, and then I think we'll go into the group. This is from the Black Swan Capitalist guys. I've tried to tell you.
It's like the truth on the event that we may not discuss. It was originally 99% effective, then it was 75, then it was 55. They slowly leak the truth until you realize it's a complete klutz, misnomer. Bullshit. And in the same way in Bitcoin, it clearly was, for me, a dark state operative setup for the digital thing. There is no Satoshi Nakamoto, there's no Santa Claus. Never believed that for 1 minute.
Exactly. Hope no kids are listening.
All the tea in China, that there's this benevolent guy who created all of this stuff, disappeared into the ether, can't be found, can't be traced. It's just a guru. It's like we created baby Jesus all over again. Only he's money Jesus, and all the adults are meant to buy this. I mean, I've just seen too many psyops. I'm too aware on this. I'm not buying it for a moment. So it's an absolute creation. There was the 96 document. Anyway, there's enough evidence. We don't have to drill down on it.
Exactly.
So the whole point that BlackRock, who is actually the financial New World Order, in essence, it's the financial arm, one of the biggest arms, also controlled by the City of London and all investors, owns most of the banks by large dominant shares, State Street, all of them. All these various brands are essentially controlled by a handful of families. So the fact that they were just slowly coming around, and they said, okay, now we need to give this a bit more emphasis. It's been in a long bear market. We're rethinking our stance on this. It's the same as the Fed. The central bankers jaw markets, and they say certain things. Often it's deception. Sometimes they may even choose to say the truth if it helps, if it supports what they're wanting to do. So, but it was misinformation. It was like the temporary inflation story, the transitional and all of this. So this is all just about leaking the truth and conceding the truth slowly. So that is a news management issue. It's a propaganda management issue that BlackRock once defiled it and then later, has come around to it. They want you to see it's almost
just
like
misdirection.
Yeah, it's misdirection. But they're going to get there, but they want to do it in their own pace, and they want you not to think that it was one of their constructions. So it's like giving birth to your own son and disowning it for a whole bunch of years, and then finally acknowledging, when he turns 21, that he was always your boy.
Okay, I want you to listen to every single word of this before we go into the group, because this will set the stage so that I can explain to you what's going to happen with Wall Street finally coming in after this legislation.
What is the argument that crypto should be a part of your overall investing portfolio, and how much? I know it depends on age groups, but give some advice. What are you telling your clients now?
Well, I'll give you two pieces of this. Number one, Bitcoin clearly over the past 15 years of its existence has been the best performing asset class in history, bar none. It is widely expected to continue that track record over the next 10 years. So on an attitude of trying to create wealth long term, crypto makes a lot of sense. Second, most importantly from an investment advisor's perspective, Bitcoin's price movements are independent of all other asset classes. The prices don't move in sync with stocks or bonds or real estate or gold or oil or commodities, and that makes it a perfect addition to a diversified portfolio. If you engage in rebalancing, which all investors ought to do periodically, owning Bitcoin helps to lower the risk of the portfolio while improving the returns. A risk-adjusted profile is one of the big claims to fame of adding Bitcoin to a diversified portfolio.
It's really the big claim for adding to anything. I mean, why do I need a new asset class? Okay, I have stocks, I have bonds, I have a nice fund for short-term money. I have a money market fund, and I have a little bit of gold. Why should I add Bitcoin? Your point is diversification, lower volatility, potentially adding to the returns. Those are good reasons.
That's all there is to it. In other words, if you believe in modern portfolio theory, if you believe in Harry Markowitz and his Nobel Prize-winning research that says investing is as much about risk as return, we want to manage that risk. We want to diversify so that we don't have 12 eggs in one basket. We have 12 eggs in 12 baskets. Well, if I can add a new basket, if I can further diversify my risks to protect myself on the downside while preserving my potential for upside, why wouldn't I want to add the newest asset class, the first one to be invented in 170 years? Last time we had a new asset class was the discovery of oil in the 1850s. This is a wonderful opportunity to further
or bonds
improve the diversification, and all the academic data tells us.
And
all right, this is where you want to listen up close.
What percentage are you advising at this point?
Most are recommending in low single digits, 2, 3, 4, 5% allocations. But if you talk to people who are deep into crypto, they're doing between 10 and 40% allocations to crypto.
Yeah, it's a lot of risk there. Considering the volatility of crypto, it's a lot of risk.
If you recognize the investment potential, you recognize the value of rebalancing, and you can afford the volatility in the long term.
Okay, so that lays the groundwork for what we're going to talk about in the group. DAIXRP.com, Patreon, or you can click the join button below this YouTube video. This is the first conversation I ever had with my wife back in 2014-ish. I looked at her and I said, look, I had put some money in this crypto thing, and if I'm wrong, we're going to lose all of it. But if I'm right, this is going to be a new asset class, okay? And I'm going to lay out for you in the group what financial advisors do. I'm not one now. I used to be one at Morgan Stanley. I'll say that again. But I do know what they talk to their clients about and how they talk to them, and so I'm going to go over that in the group. I'm going to show you what it looks like and what that would translate into for an XRP price. Just this part of things. I mean, this is much bigger than I even thought back in 2014. But that just on my initial thoughts where this is going. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Away we go.